Sup, this Greggatron. Hope everybody's having a good weekend. Alright, today's video is sword review number 8, I think. And today we're showing off this baby. It actually comes in a set. This is one of my favorites. It's so smooth, you can't even tell which side has the handle. That's how smooth it is. Pretty nice stuff. But before I get into this one, I will show you this one as well. And this one. So as you all know, this one is a dagger. And I'll take all the blades out. This is a dagger. And when you're wielding a sword, be careful you don't hold it to where the blade falls out. Keep the handle up. This is the handle. Like I said, it's so clean you can't tell which side's the handle. This is the handle right here. Don't turn it upside down without holding the handle, because depending on the sword, it can be looser than other swords, especially if you're not familiar with it. You don't want your blades falling out, falling on your foot. Anyway, so there's 3 of these. This would be a katana. The smallest one is considered a dagger. And there's different names for different medium-sized swords. I call these kodachis, but I'm sure there's other names for that medium-sized sword. And they all feel the same. So, let's talk about it, shall we? There's some symbols here on the handle. They kind of look like musical notes. I don't know what they mean. I do not know how to read Japanese, which I would like to learn at some point before I die. And there's more symbols on the handle itself. Not the handle itself, but the sheath. Yeah. If you can read Japanese, go ahead and pause that and translate that for me. Hopefully it's not like profanity, right? No, it wouldn't be profanity. Those are honorable people. So, it's very smooth. And it might be the smoothest handle I have. Super smooth. Very easy to wield in your hand. Very approachable. Very friendly. I just love the way it feels. Alright. So, there it is. You know I gotta flex the bicep. This just feels really comfortable. This has to be my favorite sword set. And it's actually one of my favorite swords, period. I'm gonna put this down for a minute. But yeah, just notice how fresh and clean and smooth that looks. And it feels just as smooth as it looks. That's a fact. Great balance. But check out the blade. As far as I know, it looks pretty stainless steel. Let's start down here. It's got that look I talked about in another video. These rivets. Now this symbol here is the same symbol on the handle, right? The blade is extremely shiny and it's fairly sharp. It could definitely be sharper. The blade, in my opinion, is just as smooth as the handle and the sheath. Just incredible. Very nice. And I noticed another thing, I'll show you in a minute, but the blade is actually thinner than a normal standard katana. So, this is a standard katana, right? Just a comparison. See how much thicker this blade looks opposed to this one. Yeah, it's clearly, this one's clearly not as wide. Yeah. It's not as wide, and the blade itself might be thinner itself, but it's definitely, this one's definitely wider. Therefore, you can't interchange these two swords in the other sheaths. I tried. And I'll show you. When you try to put this sword in this sheath, it'll just stop out halfway through. And even if you try to put the thinner blade in the other sheath, this piece right here will stop you, so the sword won't be able to go all the way in this sheath. There are swords where you can interchange the blade with different sheaths, but this is not the case. Alright. I'm gonna put that, well, but yeah, there's a kind of a design on the blade. Like a ripple, kind of like a wave. Alright. Put this down for a minute. See how smooth that is. The medium-sized blade. Obviously, it's going to be lighter. This actually feels more comfortable. More comfortable. I guarantee you these can do some damage. I guarantee that. Put this back for a minute. And then you got your dagger. And all three of these have the same symbols. like slicing butter. This is the size sword the samurai would use to commit. They didn't call it suicide, they had a different name for it, but it was to, if they dishonored their family or brought shame upon their family, they would do that. Or if they lost in a war or a battle, instead of becoming a slave, they would many times off themselves, which is somewhat of a noble thing to do. What do you think about that? Would you rather die a free man or live as a slave? Alright. So I'll get some poses in here for you guys. Well, let me put this one back first. I like swords because swords aren't very expensive. Anybody can own a sword. You don't need a special permit or anything like that, because it's just a household item. Most people don't even consider these as weapons. They're delicacies, art. Get that pose in. This is definitely one of my favorite swords. You might ask what I would give it. It's a 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. I guess I'll show you a comparison with my large sword from the last video. Remember this? The length of this is a standard katana. This was considered a nodachi. It's like night and day. Night and day. And the most dangerous person in the room is the most quiet person in the room. The loudest person in the room is the most foolish. So if someone comes in my house acting a fool, I'm not going to get loudmouth with them. I'm not going to argue with them. I don't need to. Because these swords speak for themselves. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's a 10 out of 10. This is Greggatron. It's Saturday. I got a birthday party to go to later. It's going to be a good time. I hope you guys have a good weekend. And there's more of these coming. I guess I'll show you the blades together, right? Yeah, why not? Oh yeah, that's good posing. If anybody has any questions, let me know. All right. So peace.